Jody here again, coming at you from Canada. Yay! That's us now. We're living in Canada, me and my boyfriend. We've been here about 4 days, in the process of getting everything set up and ready. I thought I'd just film a little chat with you guys. Give me maybe some tips about moving abroad, and because I've done it twice now. Maybe just have a talk about my experiences with living abroad, that sort of thing. I thought that would be a good idea. I was originally going to film like sort of the whole journey from moving from Glasgow to like New Brunswick, but I thought it'd probably be better off if I just did this instead, mostly because it's been an exhausting experience. I didn't get very much sleep leading up to it because of holidays and saying goodbye to everyone and packing, which packing was a nightmare. So I thought it would be probably a bit better just to chill here with all my stuffed animals and just have a chat with you guys. So I hope that's okay. It's gonna have to be, isn't it? So 2 years ago I moved to Edinburgh in Scotland from here, which was actually quite an easy transition. I say that is a little on the fence, but getting the whole visa experience, that was easy. The hardest part was probably the paperwork and getting out to Ottawa to get everything done, like my biometrics and everything. That was such an easy experience. Like you just, once you have all the criteria, you just go online and you can fill out the application and you make an appointment to go get your biometrics done, and there's like 4 or 5 places across Canada that you can get it done, Ottawa being one of them. The closest place to me at the time was actually Halifax, but they had like specific days and none of those days worked, so we opted instead to drive to Ottawa, which was quite a long drive. I think it was like a 10-hour drive. So we did that, and 10-hour drive for like a 5-minute thing, but it was good. It was worth it. Got all that done within like a week. I think about a week I had my visa sent back to me in the mail, and from there I could just book a flight, get everything ready, move over to Scotland. So that was easy. That was like the easiest part. It was the actual getting there that was hard. Like I managed to get everything packed, and that's always a stressful situation when you're moving abroad, making sure you have everything that you need but in as little space as possible, because you obviously don't want to pay too much for extra baggage. You don't want to be stuck dragging bags. Like that was the worst part of my journey over. Like I had a 15-hour flight because it was Fredericton to Toronto, from Toronto to Dublin, and then Dublin over to Edinburgh. So it was about a 15-hour journey, and that was easier than trying to drag my bags from Edinburgh airport to where I was staying, which was a hostel for the first couple of days, because I left to go the end of October and I was due to move into the flat where I had found the beginning of November. So that was the hardest part. Thankfully I had somebody there to help me, like a friend who was visiting the city, to help me grab my bags and bring them to this hostel that we were staying at. From there, like the 2 days or whatever later, I just called a taxi, or got the hostel to call a taxi, and they dropped me off at the flat where I was gonna live. So that wasn't too bad. It was not the greatest. I only had 2 big bags and a carry-on to have all of my stuff, so it wasn't too bad. I survived it. The first couple of nights were very difficult because I had never been so far away from my family, and that is one thing that I will definitely say. If you're moving abroad, it's gonna be hard and you're gonna want to quit, but don't quit, because it's worth it in the end to stick it through. You'll end up loving where you are. You'll be okay with leaving your family behind, because you will see them again. And with me, I video chatted my mom quite a lot when I could, and that kind of made things better. For the first couple of weeks when I was feeling a little bit like, oh, I just wish I could go home now, almost wanting to throw in the towel, made it through and didn't want to come home in the end anyways. So what does that say? just kidding. I did want to come home. I just really enjoyed it in Scotland. That it was a very bittersweet situation. So yeah, so I moved to Edinburgh, and that was a pretty easy situation, minus the whole dragging bags and all that. I will say there was a slight issue when I moved there with stamps on my visa, because flying in from Dublin to Edinburgh, you're technically switching country, but they don't stamp your passport because you don't really see like anyone. Get to the post office where I was supposed to pick up my actual visa card, and the visa in my passport wasn't stamped. He wouldn't give me my visa card, saying, your visa's not stamped, how can you be in the country? I'm here! Went through all of that issue. I actually contacted like the British government, I don't remember who I contacted, and they told me that I didn't need a stamp on that passport to get the visa, but the post office guy said I did, and it was just all complicated. Ended up going back to the airport, crying my eyes out, trying to get somebody to stamp my passport. The immigration gentleman, I suppose, he did. He was very nice about it. He said that it was pretty ridiculous that I was going through the situation, and he stamped it for me. Then I went back to the post office, got my visa card, no issues after that. Had a job within like a week, which, I mean, I put out an application like the day I got there, so that's probably why I had a job within a week. Some people might want to like explore where they're going, see the sites, like learn the lay of the land before they go getting a job, but I found it was a lot easier for me to get a job when I got there. The harder part is that while I had called up and applied for my not social insurance number, that's in Canada, my national insurance number, and had it all done and approved, I had been waiting so long for the letter that had the actual number in it that I couldn't get a bank account, because you can't get a bank account without a national insurance number. And because I didn't have a bank account, I couldn't get paid. So I had been working almost all of November leading into December before I had even, you know, seen a penny of the money that I had been earning. And like at that time where I was working was, you get paid every Friday. So while everyone else was getting paid, I was not getting paid, which really sucked. Eventually when it was all sorted out, like I ended up calling the national insurance number people again, and they were like, oh, we have it here, we'll send it right out to you. Like, could have done that beforehand. But so they sent it out to me, and then it was all solved. I got paid the next week, which was awesome. And it was like prorated, so I got all the back pay. Good. But then I still didn't have a bank, so I had to go get a bank account. But all of the banks that I had applied to had been so mean that I refused to go back to them. I finally found a bank, and that was good. Put the check in, because they gave me a check instead of putting it direct deposit, because I obviously didn't have a bank. And they told me that I had to wait a whole week for it to clear. A whole week. Another week without money, but I managed. I had enough money because, well, like I had all of the money that I had brought over with me, because you have to bring over a specific amount so that you can live, just in case you don't have a job yet. So I was okay. It was a struggle. It was a struggle because I was working so hard and not getting any of the fruit for my labor. But those were pretty much the only hiccups. I moved around a couple of times while I was in Scotland. So I moved from Edinburgh up to like Markinch, which is in Fife, where I lived with a work friend. From there, I moved to Renfrew, right outside of Glasgow, with my boyfriend and his family. And that's where I stayed until I came home and brought him with me. That was another completely different experience though, because the Canadian government, as far as visas are concerned, is a lot trickier. So in order to get a visa to move to Canada, you have to put yourself into a pool where you wait to be invited to apply for the visa. And then after you're invited to apply for the visa, you apply for the visa, and then you have to wait. So you need a police check, which you also have to wait for. You need like the funds, insurance, all of those things. And then it says you have to wait about like 8 weeks to get your visa approved. So we were like, okay, there's no way that in the time that I have left, he's gonna be able to come with me. So we were just planning for that. he was gonna stick about work because he had to put in 4 weeks notice, and then like he'd stick about work, I'd come home, and then he'd come home like couple weeks after me, and that would have been okay. But he got his visa like a week after he applied for it, which was amazing, and I don't think very common, but still pretty amazing. And then just basically he had to finish his 4 weeks of work, we had our holiday, and then we had to pack everything, get everything ready, bring it over here, which was difficult because there's 2 of us, not just one of us, so packing took up so much extra space. We ended up bringing, I don't even think, it was 4 big suitcases, 2 carry-on suitcases, and his computer, because he really wanted to bring that, which counted as a bag. And we flew with WestJet, and they charge for bags, so like every single bag is charged for, but it's not too expensive for the most part. Like it was, I think, £60 each for all 5 of the bags, so I think that was pretty good. It worked out all right. We finished up our holiday abroad in Prague and Vienna, and we went home for a few days, had a weekend to say goodbye to everyone, clear everything up, and then we were back on the flight again on Monday, flying 6 hours until Halifax. I mean, we're here now. We survived. We're well slept, and mostly everything is cleared up and intact. Just got the computer built, which is number 1 importance to have. But yeah, it's just an experience. Now I get to see my cat, my dog, I get to see my mom, all my family, and it's been a good couple of days. We're off to tonight. So it's Friday right now. This is going on Friday, so we're going to PEI tonight. We'll be back Sunday, and that'll be next week's video. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe so if you want to see more videos. And then yeah, bye! Just like a quick question. Does anyone else have an issue with the Happy Mandolin song? Because let me know if you do, and I will try to find another song. I kind of like it. I think it makes me seem like I'm a very well put together and happy person. But if you don't like it, sorry.